This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. We're going to go down a little trip down memory lane real quick. Make sure you smash that like button. Well, we're talking about Pimp C and Master P. And we're just talking about Master P has been pretty hot in the news lately because the Chronicles, okay? It brings up a lot of memories of Master P and his brother having problems throughout the years. You know, his brother got in trouble around 2001, 2002. This is right around the time Master P was having his own troubles making the new No Limit, because the original No Limit had some issues with, you know, royalties, masters, a bunch of other stuff. And he created a new No Limit with Universal. And around that time, he was also polishing his image up. He had his son. His son was on Nickelodeon. And around this time, this whole time period of, you know, a couple years, C, his brother, got indicted for taking someone's life. Now, his brother never really left the hood, okay? Like, they're from a very notorious projects in Louisiana. And his brother still kept an apartment in the hood, even though he had a mansion and a golf course. And, you know, C was just too real. Or just didn't know when to leave. There's a time when you gotta leave, because people will drag you down with them. You know, not saying that everybody in that environment is bad. I'm just saying that if you're hanging out with people that were, you know, still selling product and stuff, those people will get you in trouble because they're gonna have you in the wrong environments. I'm not talking about all the other people, but you know, he liked to hang out in the hood with people doing crimes, you know? So he ended up at a club one night and someone ended up getting popped, and it turns out that he was named. The cops kind of manipulated the witnesses, it seems like, because they're all recanting their statements now. That's what it seems like, okay? And it seems like he was totally innocent all that time, you know? Like, everyone's recanting, things don't make sense. But they needed to get rid of... Have you ever watched The Wire, when they always have to just pin a body on somebody? It seems like they just had to pin a body on them, and it was really good pinning it on him for them, because it made the case real sweet. And Master P didn't turn his back, but he couldn't be involved with that. He's trying to move forward and can't be dragged backwards. Now, over the years, C would make books about him, would go on the radio and say statements about him. When Master P would say, you know, I told him not to name himself that name, and I told him to, you know, stay out the hood, meet, you know, hang out with your people in different places than in the hood and at certain clubs where you don't belong. If you're not making any money there, you shouldn't be there. I mean, Wayne says it best. If I'm not in studio and if I'm in the club, I'm making money. If I'm not making money, I'm in the studio. And that's where you should be. Because if you hang out in the block all the time, you're going to get in trouble, man. You know? You're going to get in trouble. I've seen it with a lot of rappers. Friends of mine got locked up for hanging out in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the wrong thing gets pinned on you. It's not fair. And you know, C hopefully is getting help from Kim Kardashian now. And that was a big riff recently with Master P. A lot of other things are coming up in these chronicles. You know, Master P and C will always be brothers. So nobody should ever really get involved in that. Like, nobody's wrong or right in that situation. You know, I could see Master P does do a lot for his brother. And his brother is frustrated. He's in a bad situation. That's why he write books on him and everything. And that's why Master P's forced to answer these questions. There was an infamous time with Mad Links on Rap City, right? Where, you know, he was trying to bring up a problem with his brother and everything. And he was like, yo, dude, that's my brother. Like, I'll never talk about him on this platform. You know, he might do that out of frustration, but me, that's my brother, you know? And that's a good take that Master P took. Master P made a lot of people millionaires. He helped his own family. He created producers. And, you can't make everybody happy. People are always going to talk smack about you. That's what happens with like 50 Cent and a lot of other people. T.I. helped out a lot of people too. Even though we can talk bad about T.I. sometimes because he does some weirdo stuff, he still made a lot of people rich. And he helped a lot of people out the hood. So not everything's negative, man. He does a lot of positive too, We just talk about everything, but you always got to highlight the positive that someone's doing as well. He does build and buy and rebuild in his neighborhood, which is very positive. Anyways, even though he might not necessarily, there's that argument that he's not really from there, he's still helping out, man. I think he had family there or something. So, then it was brought up, Master P had problems with, we already know this, the UGK thing where they felt like, I think, Pimp C felt like he was owed more money on a certain track that Master P had put out in 1996. UGK was featured on this track, and he felt like he was owed a lot of money, break him off something. And at this time, they weren't on Rap a Lot, but they were friends with J Prince, and Master P, his mentors, J Prince. So that got squashed eventually, but, Pimp C went on stage a lot and, talked smack about Master P. And Master P was a wild boy back in the 90s, if you read all the stories. He stepped to him and they tussled, And it turned, Pimp C. That's what I like about Pimp C. Pimp C could admit, was a real man because he could admit when he was wrong. He told Master P that I was wrong for that. I was letting substances kind of get to my head. Like, a real man can admit when he's wrong. You can make mistakes, and a real man admits when he's wrong. A lot of people try to paint Pimp C for going at Jeezy. He co-signed Jeezy on the radio. He didn't diss him. He dissed a lot of Atlanta stuff because he didn't like that crunk music was going on and that 3 6 Mafia wasn't getting their credit because they kind of started all that. He was upset with a lot of things, and I don't blame him. Pimp C was like a preacher out here. You can get a lot of quotes from Pimp C. He's wild, but very smart. And he looked at things for what they were. And if he was wrong, he would say he was wrong. And that's what I like about him, I was a little young to kind of get fully in. I didn't get into Pimp C until the 2000s more, because in the 90s, everything isn't like it was now. I was mostly listening to New York music, and that's it. A little bit of West Coast, but mostly New York music because I'm from New York. Things didn't start blending until late 2000s when, you had more YouTube and streaming stuff kind of coming together. That's why A$AP Rocky sounds like he's from New York, and that he's from Houston and some other places, and now you don't know where anybody's from. But I'd say really in 2007-ish, things really started to change. Anyways, I know I'm just rambling, but I just wanted to get another video up before the night's over, kind of talk about some things that I've been looking at lately, and I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the content. I hope you guys are having a great day. And I'll check you guys in the next one. This is Jordan Tower with JT Newsbacks. Just smash that like button. And I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.